Hey, what's up everyone? This is John from G-Man's Fishing Adventures. Welcome to another episode. We are finally getting some cold weather, and we're just gonna do some checking around south central Minnesota, check a few lakes, get people excited. There's lows and the negatives coming up, highs in the single digits, so we're gonna be making a lot of ice here. And our first stop here is Wilart Lake. It's about 5 miles east of Fairmont. I'll put a species list up here, but it's got yellow bass, walleye, a lot of bullheads, but you know, it could be an early spot just to get us some fish on the ice. So let's see what we got here. We're pretty well capped over. There's a little snow from last night on here, so you got to be very careful. We'll not take anything for granted. So we got 3 punches. It's not enough to fish on. Definitely, especially since we're right by the shoreline. It'll probably get worse as you get out, but we're getting there. I mean, it's probably about 3 inches, so I'll go a little further out. I mean, we're getting there. I'll get a measuring tape and check it out, see what we got for actual, because I'm not very good at estimating, and I know a lot of people that aren't either, so we'll check back here in a second. Well, like I said, we're getting hooked right there on the bottom of the ice. We're right at 3 inches. So, you know, it's not enough for me, but hey, for this time of year and the way this winter's been, I'm getting excited about it and looking at the forecast. So I would imagine a lot of the rest of the lakes are going to be similar to this, but we'll still check them anyways. And yeah, we'll get excited for the end of next week, or end of this week now. And yeah, we'll be ice fishing soon. All right, next stop we're about 5 to 10 miles south of Fairmont. We're at Wilart Lake. This can be a really good ice fishing, especially early, for some decent yellow perch, you know, 8 to even 10, 11 inches at times, depending on the year. So you can see she's completely froze over, which is good. If you're ever out here, that first point off to the west of the boat ramp is really good for perch. You also catch the occasional bullhead, which is always a surprise ice fishing, but it's still fun. So I also have a guest today. I don't know if you recognize him, but yeah, he's anxious to get out and show you guys how to catch fish. Hopefully next weekend. But here we go. I'm gonna walk out. There's a little ridge right here, so about the same, 2 to 3 inches. You can see there's some cracks moving through. You know, we are getting enough expansion that it's making a ridge along the shoreline, but still probably about 3 inches. We'll get the old measuring tape out and see for sure if I can hit the same spot. See, I'm not going out very deep today, so. All right, so we'll see if we can catch the lip here. Yeah, so we're only at about 2 inches ice here, so maybe I missed the lip. Seems more than that. It's about length of my fingers. Yeah, about 3 inches, so just didn't hit the lip with the measuring with the tape measure. So there you go, 3 inches. We're getting close, but I'm also right next to shore, so you can imagine that things will get a little less as you get further out. So still got to give it time, but we're getting close. I've seen rock chuckers before, but usually you need a bigger rock to check the ice conditions. So we'll start heading north, get towards the Fairmont chain, and check out those conditions, see if there's anywhere that maybe this week we'll be fishing. All right, now we're at the next lake up from Iowa Lake. This is South Silver Lake. It's a pretty big lake. There's a little bit of open water still, especially over off the point there. There's a shallow rock point. This bay on the south side can be really good for panfish. A lot of perch, bluegill, crappie. This lake in general has some decent walleye, crappie, and it's one of the few lakes in the area where you can end up catching white bass too. So we like to come down here every once in a while just see if we can get some white bass. I haven't been down here for a couple years, so I'm not sure what the population's doing, but it is an option if you're in the Fairmont area and you want to get away from the crowd. So we'll go out. I know you can see there's, well, you probably can't see, but over off the point there's open water, so I'm not gonna go too far out here. And with snow, you can't really tell, so. Make a big enough hole I can use my ice scoop to check. Alright. Tired of using the measuring tape, we'll use the ice scoop this time. So at the water level it's about 3 inches, maybe 3.5 right here. But again, this is a really protected area on the south side of the lake. There's a nice line out there, so I'm sure that you'll have to continue to check as you go by. You know, always bring your spikes, your ice cleats, your float jacket, all that stuff to make sure, especially in early ice, that you are being safe. So now we'll keep moving up. Okay, now I'm up to Wilart Lake, which is a kind of low in the valley. You know, you got to go down this steep embankment to even get here. But it's a shallow lake. It can be really good for perch and walleyes and some crappies at times. It's again frozen over, and look at this. Somebody was out here this morning. It looks like they made it down to the point even, so they did some checking. I'll do some checking for you. Anytime the ice is cracking when it's this thin, I just get a little jumpy. Okay, so it doesn't look like it's any thicker than it's been at the other ones. Get enough open where I can get my scoop in there. Oh, maybe not. Just kidding, let's try that again. There we go. Maybe if I take the tag off finally, I can read my thing. So looks like we got about 4 inches right here by the shoreline. That's probably why the person felt comfortable coming out. And yeah, I mean, like I said, it's another one of those lakes if you just want to get away from the crowds. You know, you're not gonna have 200 fish like you would in Fairmont, but you could potentially run into some nice ones. So it does look like there's a kind of a wet seam there going out. I probably wouldn't cross that, but that's just me, a little extra precautious. No fish is worth falling through, so, but it's looking good. We'll keep moving. All right, now I have made it to the Fairmont chain officially, and I'm on the south side of Amber Lake. From the looks of things, it's completely capped over, which is a good sign. There's a little ridge there. When I was here, had a project on Tuesday. I was in town for work, and that where that ridge is, that was the only ice on the whole lake. So some of that must have stayed, and then the rest is all fresh ice. So there are some foot tracks out here. Looks like somebody's already checked. They got out a little ways, turned around, and came back. That doesn't surprise me because it's been you know, only about 4 days since this locked up. So, and I think now I'm in the Fairmont chain, Legends Guide Service was here on Friday and they had about 1.5 inches. So we will see how much we've made over the weekend. It is 17 degrees today, so we should be making good ice. This little bit of snow doesn't really insulate the ice that much. You know, if we had 4 to 6 inches of snow on 3 inches of ice, then we would probably be talking about some insulation. But right now we're good. Let's see, tomorrow night they're talking, you know, no one really knows, maybe 1 to 3 inches of snow. I haven't looked lately, but that was what I saw last time. So, you know, that could potentially cause issues with making ice, but we're gonna start getting really cold, so I'm hopeful that it doesn't. But it does kind of mess with visibility on where the good ice is and where the bad ice is. So we'll come out here a little ways and punch a hole. Set this down. Yeah, we don't have much. One to 2 punches is all it's taken. So, yeah, I'm not going out any further. Let me get out of the sun. Looks like just shy of 3 inches. So, you know, over the weekend we made maybe 1.5 inches ice. So, we're getting there. A couple more days and I'd definitely be out here. All right, now looking at the south side of Bud Lake. Got a few rock throwers over there. I mean, I don't know how often we have to say it, but especially when guys start plowing, those rocks are going to be embedded in the ice, and you know, we appreciate them plowing the path, you know, if we get that much ice this year. But just try not to, you know, get a spud bar. It's just as easy. But we'll do a couple punches. Like I said, Legends were finding 1.5 inches here a couple days ago, so I'm not expecting more than what I saw at Amber. Got stuck on the second one. So we got pretty good ice right here on this ridge. This is probably old ice. You know, as we get closer, it's gonna probably disappear. Like I said, right along the edge of the lake is not the best place to check, but if it's only 3 inches, 4 inches along the edge, it's not gonna get any better as you get out. See if I got it big enough for the scoop yet. Not quite. Now it should be. All right, so yeah, right here along the edge, 4 inches. Pretty thick, but you can see the color change right there. Once it gets to clear ice, I'm guessing it's gonna be less. You can also see the bottom. I'm in very shallow water. Okay, there's a snow line here. 2 punches and it's through. See where we're at here. About 3.5. So, I mean, the future's bright. We're getting there, but we're not there yet. At least not in my opinion. And as always, if you're in the Fairmont area, you got to stop at Summer Outdoors. Justin will give you the most up-to-date information. We live about a half hour away, so Justin's got the best information for you at any given moment, and also the best bait and tackle. So we're at Ward Park here on Iston Lake, and you can see over on the west point there, the geese have it pretty open still. There's been people walking out here. I'd assume that it's probably about the same as we're seeing everywhere else, you know, 3 inches, which is good. You know, this is just an area to avoid, especially when people start driving on the ice. That ice over there on the west, even though it may get locked up, is going to be less than everything else, because those geese are going to stick around probably until the cold front this week. So just keep that in mind, that while the rest of the ice is growing, that stuff is still wide open. So go to the north end of the lake and see what it looks like up there. All right, well, I did check the north side of Sisseton, and there was actually 2 guys fishing out there, so didn't want to bother them, interfere, and make a lot of noise. So I did check. There was about 3 inches ice off where you access the lake, and again, not enough for me, but it's enough for some people. Now I'm at George Lake. We got a guy out here in the middle of the lake, so you know, that's a pretty good sign. Probably about the same amount of ice as what we're seeing, 3 to 4 inches. But I am going to go over here in the holding pond, because usually that's a decent early ice spot, for safety wise, and also because there's usually perch in here, maybe some northerns, you know, a lot of small stuff too. But it's fun to get out here and just drill a couple holes and get some fish on the ice. But we'll go over here and check it out. See, over here there's this holding pond, and you got to be careful with trespassing rights, because there is a fence here. We don't want to be trespassing. Not public property anymore. Stay in the public side of things. But let's see what we have over here. Yeah, so even here we're still looking at about 3.5, 4 inches, and I'm right off the shoreline. So, you know, it's fairly shallow. It's probably safe enough ice, but just use your own caution and judgment, because no fish is worth falling through the ice. Alrighty, we left Fairmont. I started heading east again, and we're over at Gookin now. If anyone knows, it's a kind of a borrow pit for I-90, just north of the town of Gookin, west of Blue Earth, and we're mostly froze over. There is an open spot on the north side, and there's been a few people that have been out checking ice conditions. So looks like there's a hole open. I'm just gonna check his hole, see how thick it is, and it doesn't look like much. Just under 3 inches. So I know that this area was open on Tuesday as well, so about 3 inches. And this pond can be pretty good for northern pike. You can get some decent crappies, perch, bluegills. You'll catch a ton of little fish, but it's a fun place to bring the kids and have some action. So yeah, it's definitely not ready, but we're getting close, and yeah, we'll check one more place, or a couple more places. Well, we did check one other spot, a local river that you've seen in some of our kayaking videos. The main channel's still open, so maybe if you got to the pools, you could probably fish, but we decided not to show it. Not much there. So anyways, hopefully everyone got something out of today's video, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And I think tomorrow I'll be heading east towards the Wilart Lake, so stay tuned. Thanks.